And I just thought it was very inspiring, and it just made me think of some other things, like biblically, as I was watching it. So I want to share with you guys. And it says, I launched a business from my living room. Now it brings in $9 million a year. Okay. Okay, let's get into it.
Also happens to be making money. From a young age, I've always found kind of a way to make money. I always knew it was like a stepping stone to something bigger. I'm doing what I truly enjoy, and it also happens to be making money. My name is Jenny. I'm 28 years old, and my handbag brand Freya has brought in $9 million in 1 year. Freya is a handbag brand. We specialize in making really classic, timeless, and functional pieces to support women in their everyday endeavors. So we originally started as a work bag brand, and then now we have kind of a pretty full collection of everyday bags, shoulder bags, mini bags. I wanted to create a brand that I wanted to see in the world. So doing everything really slow, intentional, being really transparent in everything. Numbers-wise, we have a profit margin of about 20 to 25% after all our expenses. We had positive cash flow for the first time end of 2023. I started Freya after a really stressful night of interview prep when I couldn't find a suitable bag. I didn't really have like any great options. I was trying to bring a change of clothes. I was trying to bring my laptop, my portfolio, shoes. So I needed everything to have its own kind of compartment. And I wanted straps that could go over my coat because this was February.
I think it's so cool that she knew that there's something missing in the market, and she knew that something was missing in the market, and she decided to do something about it. Like, how many times do we come across something and we're like, oh, I wish this had this, or I wish this had this. We could all, instead of just like wishing this was like this, we could do something similar to her and make it happen.
Schedule for a full day of interviews. I show up in the morning carrying like a cotton tote bag, didn't get the job. I had a problem that I wanted to solve, and I thought I could do it well.
And that goes back to like the positive self-talk conversation we had in the last segment. She believed that she would be able to do it. And as we'll see like through this video, that it wasn't easy whatsoever, but she persevered.
I used that to pay my way through grad school, and then it was also the seed money I used to start Freya. I started Googling, sample makers based in New York, went through a couple.
Okay, did you guys read that?
Well.
It says Jenny had $300,000 in savings from a drop shipping company. And that's what helped her launch her handbag business. I thought that was really cool because it was like, she was already like business oriented. Because she said she used her dropshipping company at first to like pay for grad school and pay for things rather than depending on like a loan or a student loan or whatever. She like was able to find a product that people would want to buy and do all that. So I don't know. I just really like her work ethic. I really find it very fascinating and inspiring to just do something out of the norm, like do something out of what everyone else is doing or what most people do, which is go get a student loan, or which is go do these other things that most people do. So I think it's really cool that she had a successful, I mean, in my opinion, I would call that a successful dropshipping company. And her intention was to use that to pay for grad school. So
I used that to pay my way through grad school, and then it was also the seed money I used to start Freya. I started Googling, sample makers based in New York, went through a couple. I found one based in Brooklyn, reached out to her, and then I started sourcing materials. Went to go pick up the sample. Well, it was not impressive. That was actually very sad. It looked like a kindergartner's art project, but now I know, at least I know what I'm working with. I'm like,
and see, like, she hit a road bump, she hit like a struggle, At that point, like, she could have just quit and been like, yeah, this is just not going to work. And like she said, she was sad. Like she said, she was like, ugh, looked like a kindergartner made it. But instead, she was like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the solution? Like, what's something else I can try? And I think that's the biggest thing, is just what's something else you can try? What's something else you can do? I feel like there's always something else you can do, especially if you're leaning on the Lord, and especially if it's your will to do it. Like, there's always something else you can do, always something new you could tweak within like a business, or tweak within your career, or tweak in like a transition, whatever it is. Like, there's always something to do. You just have to be, in my opinion, you have to lean on the Lord first and foremost, and then two, you have to be solutions oriented. And that was just a skill that I have come to, I wouldn't say perfect at all, but I would say come to embrace a lot more. It's like, okay, yeah, this is making me frustrated, but there's got to be another way to do it, or another way to succeed in this area. So don't give up, persevere.
Okay, there was a lot that I didn't communicate up front too, and my sketches were honestly like not much to work off of, so I get it.
And she also used like that failure as a learning opportunity. Like, there's so many times we probably fail, we probably do something and it's like, oh, that sucked, that failed. But as long as we like use that as fuel for the next thing, use that as fuel and a learning opportunity, you don't ever really fail. Like, yeah, it's like a setback, but minor setback for a major comeback, you know, in the words of Migos. So
I'm like, okay, I tried making this in New York. I'm going back to China anyway. Let me try finding a sample maker in China. So I asked around my circle and I got connected with a sourcing agent.
So obviously in this part, she has a good network. Like, she has a good network of people if she could just ask around and be like, hey, I'm looking for a supplier. So, and also it helped a lot that her family owned, or not, it helped a lot that her family was in China. Like, her parents were in China. So it was easier for her to find a supplier. That's not to say just because someone has something easier, or because someone has different opportunities, just because that's just what they were given. Like, it was, that doesn't mean that you can't be successful either. You just might have to work harder, or you just might have to connect in a different way, or go a different route, and that's okay. I think as long as like we persevere and just not quit, whatever that is, and whatever that may look like, even if it may take a little longer, or maybe you need to do something else in order to build this other thing, like whatever that is, just persevere, just keep going.
There were some requirements. I was like, want to be able to know like where everything's sourced. I want to know how much everyone's paid. I want to be able to visit. I wanted Freya to kind of be my way of showing the world this is what made in China can look like. I'm really, really proud of it. I'm proud to be Chinese. I don't hide that we're made in China on our website. I don't think there's anything to hide, and I'm really proud of that. And then I picked the one that, you know, they took the longest to deliver a sample, but they were very communicative, which is something I was looking for. And we are still working with the same factory today, 4 years later. I present to you version 1 of the linear tote. And then after a year, this is what it was supposed to look like. I decided to use vegan leather, animal leather. You know, like I didn't really feel confident in sourcing and making sure that no one was harmed in making it. So I decided not to go that route. We invested about $30K into producing our first batch. So that included all ordering our materials, ordering hardware, paying our factory, labor costs, and then shipping the bags to us. Freya actually started as a blog way before we had any product, because, you know, we're going to launch, we're a no-name brand, no one knows about us, there's no reviews. Why would you buy from us? I had to give people a reason to buy into the brand and my story. So I thought, let me just share exactly what we're doing. Like, let me share every sample, let me share everything that went wrong and like all the changes that we're making to the designs.
And I think that's just such a great idea to do, like document the story, document what's happening, especially like she said, she was a no-name brand, no one knew her, but her documenting and telling the story is what gets people to just embrace it and latch on. Because like even for me, just watching this CNBC thing, I was like, ooh, maybe I'll buy something. Maybe I'll get a work tent. Just because I really like her story, I really like her work ethic, and yeah, I feel like that's really dope. And I really how this video kind of like goes step by step of like kind of how to start a business. And of course, like I said, people have different circumstances, and we all don't have $300,000 from a drop shipping. We all don't have parents in China to like do these things. But with the Lord, I think like something that is taught is like being resourceful and being a good steward and working with what you got. And she worked with what she had, but what are some creative ways that we can work with what we have, what you can work with what you have, what I can work with what I have, and how can we multiply in those ways? Yeah, and I think it just goes back to being creative. It goes back to leaning and surrendering it all to the Lord. Like, she didn't mention Jesus. She didn't mention like that she's a Christian. I don't know. I don't know. She didn't mention it. But I would say there are just so many times people that are non-religious, non-Christians that will just go out and create things like this. And then there are Christians that just won't do it because they're scared or all those things, when the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear. And the Lord calls us to have faith. And the Lord says he goes before us. So if the Lord does all these things and has all these promises for us, what makes us not step out and do the things that people like her are doing? If we have so much more, so much greater, we have the Lord on our side, what makes this not possible for someone that does serve the Lord? And not just like, and I think there's a bigger calling and a bigger purpose behind it, because it's not about the money. Like, I'm not showing this because she made $9 million a year. I'm showing this because of her work ethic. I'm showing this because she persevered. I'm showing this because if she can do it and not have Jesus or not surrender this to the Lord, how much more could someone with Jesus, how much more impact could someone with Jesus and surrendering all to Jesus, how much more could they have? And not have as in terms of money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about impact. That's what I'm talking about. Like, to glorify the Lord is what I'm talking about.
I think I collected 2,000 emails. I was like, 2,000 people are in line. I only have 300 bags. Send out an email.
But yeah, if you guys want to watch the rest of it, I recommend doing it. She just goes more into her sales and revenue and things like that. I just really wanted to show like her story of like going from not having the business and like struggling trying to get the job to now having this large business in her living room. Yeah, and I just, like I said, thought it was really cool. I really liked her perseverance, really liked her work ethic. I just really appreciate it and like love seeing it because it encourages me with a lot of things. So I hope it encouraged you as well. Yeah, so I guess the biggest thing is we are made to create and not be put in a box. To be fearless, we all have something unique to offer the world. The Lord put different skills, the Lord put different talents in all of us. And I think to be sitting on our hands and not to be doing those things, to not pursue those things, is selfish. And I think it is doing a disservice, not just to God, because he put those things into you, but to the people that you could impact and draw people to the Lord, and that the Lord can use you to draw others to Him. And it does a disservice because maybe there's someone out there that could use what you have or use what your talent gives. So your talent or your strengths give. And if you don't know your talents, you don't know your strengths, go to the Lord, pray about it. Ask someone that you trust, like, hey, like, I'm actually really struggling to see this. Can you help me? Can you point out to me like where I'm talented in or where my strengths are? Like someone you trust and someone that would be direct and honest with you in a loving and caring way. And you might be surprised because there have been moments where I've been surprised and people are like, oh yeah, you're really good at this. Or yeah, this like really impacted me. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. Great. Praise God. So yeah, when we were made to, like I said, we were made to create and not be put in a box. God was a creator. God is a creator. God cannot be put in a box. You never know what to expect with God. And because we are made in the image of God, we also reflect the same characteristics. So we were all made to create. We were all made to not be put in a box, not to be put into this thing that of mediocrity, in my opinion. So like I said, just be fearless. Like easier said than done. I get it. Easier said than done. But the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So go be fearless and just take action steps. Be fearless, have faith, surrender it all to the Lord, and take action steps. What actions are required to get from A to B to C to D? Figure that out. And yeah, like I said, we all have something unique to offer the world. So don't be doing people a disservice. Let's go to John 10:10. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Because the Lord gave us life and He wants us to have it abundantly. Us sitting on our hands, us doing the things that other people want us to do rather than coming through and like doing what is placed on our hearts, doing what's placed on our minds, dabbling in something new and creative or something new that you want to get into. Just do it. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to be easy. It's not easy for anybody. But through the journey, that's when you grow and that's when you're sanctified. That's when you learn new things and you expand your mind and all those things. So just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Understand that it won't be easy, but the Lord is there to strengthen us and help push us through, help give us wisdom, all those things. So my question to you is, how can you take steps to pursue your career dreams while glorifying God? For me, I would say 100% always put the Lord first. Sometimes you might have to fast. Sometimes you might have to like put some leisure time away in order to pursue the career goals that are to glorify the Lord. So like my personal steps, not perfect whatsoever, but my personal steps include just praying before I do anything, like praying before I do anything, surrendering all to the Lord, telling Him that I surrender all, just laying it all at His feet, every single thing, and just praying that everything that I do, everything that I say is glorifying to Him and is edifying to the people that He leads to consume whatever it is. And that's it. I start there and then I make my action steps. And I just ask that the Lord is a light unto my path because I can't do it without Him, and nor do I want to. But yeah, that's all I have for this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. And let's get into the next topic. All right, y'all. All right, so if you guys haven't already, we're going to take a quick break from the show, but if you haven't already, definitely check out The Art of Practical Religion. That is where you can get Christian encouragement straight to your inbox from all the shows related to quality. So yeah, this is a homepage, and this is where you see all of the shows implementing things. Like Josh just put up Josh from Profitable Conversations just put up something from there. I'm gonna like that. And then I posted the podcast my last podcast up there. And then also Conscious Outlet also posted something, a new article that you would get if you subscribe to the Quality Substack. We also post notes here, like similar to Twitter, or X, similar to Threads, all those things. We also post those things here, and also like repost things that inspire us that we've seen on Substack. This is the weekly tea. This is Prof Tips. This is the Conscious Outlet. And this is my show, Faith and Beyond, where I post all the good things here. And you can also subscribe based on the show that you enjoy watching the most or the content that you enjoy receiving the most. And you can do that there also. So definitely check out Quality on Substack